Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of DudeWutPodcast. My name's Harry Dowling, and this time I am joined by my very good friend, it's Mr Callum Hamby. How the hell you doing, bro?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, very, very good.
Good.
Just eating a Chinese, so I'm all happy.
Yeah, you were just saying that you are stuffed.
I'm stuffed.
You had a lot of food.
I'm stuffed.
Nice. For everyone listening, you're probably listening to this on a Thursday, and you're sort of like, what the hell? Like, what? Why isn't this coming out? Yeah, it's coming out later this week. We usually record on a Monday, and Hamby was going to guest on it. And what were you doing on Monday, bro?
Picking my new car up.
New car.
So
nice.
I couldn't do it, and then yesterday I was at the gym, and then tonight I was free, but only after I took the dogs to the vets and got Chinese.
New car. How is it, bro?
It's really good. Yeah, it's really, really nice. It's a Golf, so it's
nice.
It's like a newish Golf, so it's kind of like really, really nice and swish and fancy.
Yeah.
Got like nice big screen, for like using like
cool.
Apple CarPlay and shit. Yeah, it's cool. It's badass. Love it.
Nice.
It's nippy as well.
I was gonna say, I bet you've been like zipping that thing around. Yeah.
Thing is, like the I love Golfs. They're such great cars. Yeah. They're really practical, but like they're also quite fun to drive. I got like the 1.5 TSI like turbo.
Okay. Yeah.
And like you can get the ones with 130 horsepower or 150, and I was like, go with the 150.
Yeah, nice.
So
nice.
It's got a bit of oomph to it. Like, don't be wrong, like you get overtaken by like fast cars, but like you can accelerate quite quickly in it.
Nice. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna say it's silver.
Yeah.
It is silver.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You guessed right.
I knew you'd go for a silver Golf. That's why.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
No, it's
nice.
It's a great car.
Yeah, man. Well, it's always great when you get something new. Getting into something new is great.
Yeah.
To tie it to sort of segue into what I've been doing, I got something new this week. I bought a Nintendo Switch. Now, I've been sort of doing quite a bit of research because obviously the Switch has been out for like 5 years at this point. Was it like 2017, something like that? So it's been out for a long time, and like usually it's sort of I wouldn't invest in the system if it's been out that long, because the new one is going to come out, and the new one will come out soon. However, Nintendo did a big chat a while back, and they just said, "Don't worry about it. They've got like the Switch is going to be around for the next 5 years at least." So I was like, okay, there's still going to be a lot of support for it. And I just thought, you know what, like, I haven't played a Nintendo anything since, like, the Nintendo Wii. Almost basically the day it came out, we bought it, we played it, and then we basically traded it in, like, that day. So that was the last time I played anything. And I kind of like the little kind of kiddie collect games, where you just play as someone collecting stuff. I kind of like that. So I was like, you know what, I think it's time to take the plunge. I'm gonna buy a Nintendo Switch. Gonna buy, like some of the must-have games and just play it. So I bought one. I didn't go for the OLED because it's a lot of money, And I was sort of like, I'm probably not gonna play it that much. The Series X, the Xbox, is still my go-to console, so it'll just be like playing every now and again. So I went for the standard model with the improved battery life or whatever. I bought Mario Odyssey, which I've been playing through, and I'm pretty sure I'm on the last level right now. Heaps of fun. It's so fun. I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah, I played that when I had the Switch. It's a good game.
It is really fun, and there's so much to do on it. Like, I'm trying to do everything in every world, and I read this thing that part of your ship or whatever lights up when you've collected all the moons in each world, and none of them have lit up. And I was like, oh god, I thought I'd cleared like so many of the realms, but I've got so much left to do. So Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda, which I haven't started yet, Breath of the Wild, which is like everyone says it's one of the best games ever made. So
yeah,
looking forward to that.
I enjoyed it. It took me ages to finish though.
Yeah.
Like I want to say it took me like 6 months. Like, no, I'm not even joking. Like it really did.
So is that just the campaign, or is that like all the collectibles and side quests and stuff?
Oh no, I like just the campaign, but like it.
Yeah.
So it's one of these games where, like, in theory at least, you can just like walk and defeat the main bad guy and beat the game.
Oh right, I have heard that. Yeah.
But like, it's pretty hard to do that. So you have to like kind of do the whole like story and stuff. But yeah, it is really good. I don't quite. Maybe it's because I'm not that into like Zelda and Nintendo. I wouldn't say
I have never played a Zelda game in my life ever.
I wouldn't say it's like the best game ever, like some people say, because it's quite like Japanese, JRPG, that kind of thing. Which it's cool. Some people love it. I'm kind of like about it.
I feel like I'm so because I've never played any of them because they've never really interested me.
Yeah.
But this one looks good, and I kind of want that. I want a game that I'm going to be playing for a long time, because, like I said, I don't sit down and put apart from Mario recently, I don't sit down and put hours into the Switch. It's usually like pick it up, play for a little bit, put it down, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, something that is a massive game. I'm looking forward to. So I got that. I of course got Mario Kart 8 because like you've got to have Mario Kart with a Switch. Like you just got to. It's the law. And then we bought that Ring Fit game. That sort of. It's like it's basically like Switch's version of like Wii Fit, but it's like a full on RPG. But you play with this like Pilates ring controller thing. We haven't started it yet. I mean, we bought it for fee, really. We haven't started it yet, but it looks fun. Like, and I've seen a few videos, and like it gets you sweating, like it gets you working hard, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, just see how that is. So yeah, I bought a Nintendo Switch. A lot of fun. I'm finding though that I'm not playing it. I am playing it sort of docked most of the time. I'm not really playing it in the handheld mode, which is weird because I've read a load of reviews and stuff and people's opinions, and people are like, you will play it in handheld most of the time. And I was like, well, okay.
Yeah, I think the thing that I quite liked with it when I had one like years ago was that like I could like be playing on the sofa, and if it's like when like you're kind of on the sofa at night and you're like, I kind of just want to lie in bed, even if it's just like lie in bed and go on my phone. I just want to lie in bed because it's nice and warm, especially in the winter. And I quite liked just like undocking my Switch, going to bed, and then just sitting in bed and playing. That's one of the best things about it, in my opinion. If you could do that with Xbox, that would be like amazing. If you'd be like, I want to play COD, but in bed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, to be fair, I've done that. Yeah, I have done that, and it is good. I bought it as well so that like if Fee wants to watch some movies or something, I can just sit there and I can just play away on it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. The only other thing that I've done this week is on the Sunday just gone, I went to go see Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever. Sorry everyone, I just looked at the wavelength of that and it's like a solid block, so I apologize for your eardrums. It's pretty good. Yeah, like really enjoyed it. It's pretty down. It's pretty sad. It's very kind of, it's not fun. In that like it's not funny. There's no jokes in it. Well, there's maybe some humorous moments, but it's pretty deep. It's a pretty deep one.
It's no Thor Ragnarok.
It's no Thor Ragnarok. It's no Thor Love and Thunder. It's not a joke fest, but it's good. It's a good film. And one thing I like about it is that, not really spoilers. I'm not going to spoil it. Don't worry. But there's not a lot of Black Panther in it, and I kind of think that works in its favor. It's more of like a series of characters and how they kind of dealing with something. Some really good performances in it. Angela Bassett should be Oscar nominated for that role. Very good. Winston Duke, the guy who plays M'Baku, really cool. Obviously, he's great to see. So yeah, it was good. It was a really good film. Just interesting. Kind of nice to see something like a Marvel film that isn't a joke fest, you know. So kind of refreshing. And of course, the introduction of Namor, a sort of a favourite Marvel character, and possibly like the first ever Marvel superhero. He turns up in it, and the guy who plays him is great. So yeah, pretty good. Hammers, have you done anything else of note the last week?
Not I can think of. No.
Okay.
It's been a quiet one.
It has been a quiet one, to be fair. World Cup started today? On the time of recording?
No, it starts on Sunday.
Oh, okay. It doesn't start today, starts on Sunday.
It starts on Sunday. Qatar versus Senegal at 4 o'clock UK time.
Okay, cool.
And England are playing on the Monday. So, I'm not going to be doing the pod next week.
It's fine. What we could always do is just push it back a few days like we have done. Who are we playing on Monday?
Iran.
Okay. And what do you think the outcome's going to be?
What, of England, like, on the whole, or like...
No, England, Iran on Monday.
I mean, they should beat Iran, but I think knowing England at World Cups, it'll be like 1-0 or something.
Yeah.
It won't be very convincing, but yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
If Iran just like pull out all the stops and just like slap us down?
I mean, stranger things have happened, so
yeah,
it does happen. It's football, anything can happen.
All right, man. Well, how's about we move on to everyone's favourite segment? It's What Are We Drinking?
What are we drinking?
All right, so you told me briefly before we started this that you don't have a beverage today.
I don't. It's a Wednesday. I don't tend to drink beers on Wednesdays.
Fair enough.
Don't tend to anyway. But...
well, I've got one, and I've had a few beers recently. I've had some Jaipurs. I've got one in the fridge. I might have it after this. Still my favourite beer. Still really refreshing. But I spoke to you on... Oh, well, we played some games on Friday gone. We played some Call of Duty and stuff like that. Fee had a load of friends round, and they all did the pre-drinks and whatnot. Then they all went into town. They all left all their drinks and stuff. So I went round and I was sort of cleaning everything up after they left. And one of them, I don't know who it was, but one of them brought round loads of like weird Korean drinks. Like Korean soft drinks, Korean alcohol, just Korea, like Korean stuff. Which is really weird because I'm pretty sure that none of them were Korean or Asian. So somebody just really likes Korean products. But no, so they brought around some weird soda, which I tried. It was kind of pineapple-y. But anyway, there were 2 bottles of this. Now, this isn't going to be great for a podcast because most of it is in Korean, and I can't read it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But I have with me Jinro Grapefruit. What can I say? It's got a picture of a little frog drinking some grapefruit juice on the front of it. It's in a sort of a light green bottle. Now I have had a sip. I've had some of this, right? It's 16%, so I haven't been necking it.
What is it?
I can only assume that it's sort of like grapefruit flavored kind of vodka or like schnapps or something.
I was gonna say it sounds kind of like schnapps.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, it literally is all in Korean except for the words Jinro Grapefruit on it and the percentage on the back. So I don't know what it is. It's imported, but I have had a sip and I thought it was all right. So,
but it's like a spirit.
It's a spirit, yeah.
Oh,
but the thing is, it doesn't smell like alcohol.
I think
it
it
smells like grapefruit.
It looks like you need like a mixer or something, surely.
Yeah, but let's have a sip.
You drink it like as a beer.
Now the weird thing is, except for the little bit of kind of heat at the back of your throat, it does not taste like alcohol at all. It tastes like like grapefruit, like pop soda. You know, it's sweet, it's grapefruit flavored, and apparently it's 16% alcohol.
Hey.
Let's jump back in. Dangerous is what it is, because you could chug that. If you were like, if you come back in from a run or something and you were like, oh god, I'm thirsty, and someone went, yeah mate, you could just crack this and you'd glug it, and you would, because you can't tell. It's dangerous. It'd put you on your ass. So there were actually 2 bottles of this. There was Jinro grapefruit and just Jinro, which it just has like a water drop on the front. It doesn't taste of anything. It's the same percentage. So
Weird.
I don't know what they are, but it's alcoholic and it's Korean. If we've got any Korean listeners out there, or just anyone that is familiar with Jinro, let us know what the hell it is. Is it schnapps? Like Hamby said, that's probably probably what it is. But it's 16%, 360 ml, ice cold grapefruit alcohol. It's pretty nice. Like, if you're one of those people like our friend Tomo who really hates the taste of like strong alcohol, that is the drink for you, because it tastes like grapefruit water. Along with that, I also do have a big bottle of Lucozade Orange, brand new, because I can't be swigging that all the way through the pod, because I won't make it all the way through the pod. So I do also have Lucozade Orange. It's so good. Cannot go wrong with the Lucozade Orange. Alright, Hammers. No drink for you. No soft drinks, no water.
Squash.
You literally have no drink. Squash. What squash is it?
Blackcurrant.
Just straight up blackcurrant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Like Asda's like double concentrate, like blackcurrant squash or whatever it is. Yeah.
Nice. Squash is one of those drinks that I don't drink very often, but when I do, I'll drink like 3 pints of it.
Oh yeah, you can chug it.
Because you're just like, this is so good. But the problem then though is you chug so much. Squash is one of those drinks that like fills you up, and you can like move around, and you can literally hear it inside you, sloshing. So yeah, I don't drink it that much, but I do enjoy some squash. All right, let's leave the Jinro grapefruit alcohol there and move on to some entertainment news.
What are we drinking?
All right, now we're starting this off with some sad news. Now I think this is more than a week old, but we didn't have an episode last week, I don't think. So there's a little bit that sort of carried over. But sad news is that Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy has died, aged 66. So I do have some information here. This comes from The Guardian. It says that Kevin Conroy, the prolific voice actor whose gravelly delivery on Batman the Animated Series was for many Batman fans' definitive sound of the Caped Crusader, has died, aged 66. Conroy died after a battle with cancer, series producer Warner Brothers announced on Friday. Conroy was the voice of Batman on the acclaimed animated series that ran from 92 to 96, often acting opposite Mark Hamill's Joker. He continued on as the almost exclusive animated voice of Batman, including 15 films, 400 episodes of television, and 24 video games, including the Arkham and Injustice franchises. Really sad. 66 isn't old.
No, not at all.
Kevin Conroy, like, granted, I would have been like 2 years old when the animated series finished airing, but I definitely watched Batman the Animated Series as a kid.
Yeah, same.
Loved it, and I've seen a lot of the animated Batman movies and stuff like that, and obviously big fan of the Arkham games. So yeah, Conroy was the voice of Batman, even if sometimes he sounded a little flat or something, but that's him. That is Batman. I know he also like live action played a version of Batman as well in one of those CW shows.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know, it's just really sad. Like, it's one of those. It's a bit of news that hits you right in your childhood, you know. I think it would be the same if Mark Hamill died, you know. But obviously more so because he did all the Star Wars stuff as well. Obviously all the live action stuff he's done. But yeah, sad news this week. Kevin Conroy. Which Arkham game is your favourite, bro? Have you played them all?
I've played the first two, I think, from memory.
Yeah.
I remember the first one was pretty good. I remember like getting a little bit sick of like the kind of combat in them. The combat gets a bit repetitive, but yeah, the first two I played and enjoyed.
Yeah, I played them all. I recently, when The Batman came out, I decided to go through and I'd play them all. I bought the kind of Return to Arkham, remastered box set thing on the Xbox, and I even bought a copy of Arkham Origins, which is kind of the odd one out, one of them. But yeah, the first two are the best. The first one in particular because it's so claustrophobic and it's basically a horror game. And the second one kind of does everything that first one does, but gives you a much bigger map to do it on. And you either love it or you hate it. I really enjoyed it still, but it's probably not as good as the first one. Yeah. But yeah, Kevin Conroy has passed away. R.I.P. All right, next bit of news. Now, this is something that, again, I'm pretty sure one of our friends posted it in our sort of group chat while we were on Xbox, and we might have had a little discussion about it at the time. But that's that Netflix have announced a Gears of War live-action movie as well as an animated series. So I've got some news. This comes from GameSpot and from Netflix itself. And it says that Netflix will first adapt the video game saga into a live-action feature film, followed by an adult animation series with the potential for more stories to follow. I know that because I'm going to ask you in a minute, Hamby, what your kind of fan casting would be. But it seems that the internet and everyone else has decided that Dave Bautista should be Marcus Phoenix. I know he did like a voice pack for Gears 5 or 4, I can't remember. He did a voice pack for one of the new Gears games where they put him in the game as Marcus, so it was Bautista running around talking and stuff. But he's a big fan, and he put as soon as they announced it, he put a video out on his Instagram of him like in the freaking like cog armor and dressing up like Marcus, and he just said like, need I say more or something. But yeah, it continues. Guardians of the Galaxy star Dave Bautista really, really wants to be in the Gears of War movie, indicated by a video the actor posted of himself in the game's iconic armor on Twitter. He said, "I can't make this any easier." He tagged both Netflix and the official Gears of War Twitter account. Though definitely a dramatic move by Bautista, he is not at all being impulsive in campaigning for a shot at appearing in a Gears of War adaptation. Last year, Bautista shared an interview that he actually turned down a role in Fast and Furious for a shot at becoming Marcus Phoenix in a Gears of War adaptation.
Wow.
It's funny as well because I'm pretty sure Cliff Blazinski put a post on Twitter saying, like, brother, as the guy who designed 1, 2, and 3, you're my first choice. And then he put another post saying, just please keep Chris Pratt away from my franchise or something like that. So I think I think it's a great choice. Bautista as Marcus Phoenix. They're very similar. I think that would be really cool. So if we're already saying Bautista is Phoenix, who would you cast as the rest of the guys? Do you have any ideas? Because not to shoot Chris Pratt down, but I think if you literally fucking beefed Chris Pratt up so he was the size of Bautista, he would be an alright Baird.
Well, so I I thought you were going to ask me like who to play Marcus Phoenix.
Okay, who would you have to play Phoenix then?
And it's not. I know all the actors we've mentioned have all been in Marvel movies. The one I have has also been in Marvel movies. But I think Josh Brolin would be great as Marcus Phoenix. He's a little bit old. I'll give you that. But like, but you know, like with a bit of makeup and CGI, I think it'd be fine.
I think that's a good move. I think Brolin. I think Brolin would be really good at it. Maybe Brolin would be good as... Who's the guy who is kind of... He's like the leader of the coalition, but he's a bit of a dick. I don't remember. He doesn't really see any combat. He's always just there, kind of... I think that's the sort of role that Brolin could do really well. Just being a smug bastard, you know?
Yeah.
I get you there. I think Josh Brolin. I remember back in the day, I was a big fan of John Travolta for Marcus Phoenix. I wouldn't do that now, but like John Travolta in Wild Hogs, take him out and put him in Gears of War. You know, he even looks like Marcus Phoenix.
Isn't it the Battlefield Earth or whatever? The shitty movie. It's just like, that was kind of like Gears of War. Like,
oh god, yeah. Wasn't that written by the guy who like created Scientology?
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard. Yeah. But like I don't know about the book, but the movie was garbage.
So, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've never seen it, but you don't need to. You know,
yeah.
just you have.
Yeah,
fucking hell, you sat through that.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's terrible. It's like the worst sci-fi movie you could possibly watch. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. Okay. So we've got Batista as Marcus. Who we having as Dom?
Dom.
Sorry, Soundwave again. I'll sit further back from the microphone.
So the problem with Gears is that like it's like they obviously tried to get like, you know, people from different backgrounds like into each role, so it's kind of hard to like pick it without like just picking them because they're like, you know, they're Latin American or the colour of their skin or whatever. So I'm trying not to do that, but it's kind of tough. Because you need whatever.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, Dom Santiago, like you say, he's sort of Latin descent.
Yeah,
but the thing is I think the main criteria here is, are they huge? if not, can they get huge?
Okay, let me think. It's really tough.
Well, I've got one for Baird.
Okay, who's right? Baird? Okay, who's for Baird? John
Cena.
Okay, yeah.
I think John Cena could do it, man. Like years ago, I would have said Brad Pitt, but it's a little too old for that role now. I think, you need a blonde guy. Check, he's blonde. Check, he's huge. Check, he's funny. Baird is arguably the funny one out of all of them. So, and I think just seeing like John Cena, sort of mesh with all the rest of the characters as Baird would be pretty sick.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
You know what? Like, I'm really not a fan of The Rock anymore.
No.
Like, I just don't like him now. I don't know why. It's almost like he's too big for his boots now. Like, he needs to do a role where he actually is acting. As like I want to see him in a role like McConaughey did Dallas Buyers Club. I want to see him skinnied down, vulnerable, not like, I'm huge.
Yeah.
Just run through a wall or something,
Yeah. I'm struggling, if I'm being honest, with the rest of them.
Well, how about Lester Spraight? So that's the guy who voiced Cole, playing Cole.
Okay.
Or maybe even Terry Crews.
Yeah. I mean, he is massive.
Yeah. He's massive. Yeah. He's massive. He's charismatic, But I think Lester Spraight, the guy who actually voiced him, like, they modelled Cole on Lester Spraight. Like, he's the same guy. Give it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that literally just if we're doing the main characters, that literally just leaves us with a Dom, and like you say, Dom's probably the hardest one to. Oh well, I mean, yeah, Ty, Gears 2. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that.
So
I think you really need to look at like a lot of the wrestlers. I mean, I think that you need huge dudes.
You can CGI people's heads onto like.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Dom is a real tricky one. I don't know. I'm genuinely stuck for that.
We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it, and also send us an email, dudewutpodcast@gmail.com, and let us know your fan castings for the Gears of War live adaptation, and let us know like who would you cast as Carmine? That's the question for you. Who would you cast as Carmine? Would you have the helmet come off, or would you have it stay on? And would you cast the same person as Carmine? Let's say, for example, there's 3 films following each first three games. Would you have all the same people? I know that one of the podcasts I listened to said they wanted Jesse Plemons as Carmine, which is a random ass choice. But yeah, Jesse Plemons.
Thing is, like, he's pretty big as well. As in, like, he's skinny, but like, I don't know if you've seen him in Fargo, but he's big, but not in like a muscular way.
Yeah, he can get big. Yeah,
and in the new in the El Camino, he put on a few pounds.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next bit of news. We'll leave that one there. All right. Next bit of news is that there is a new trailer for John Wick Chapter 4. And I don't know if you're looking at my notes right now, Hamby, but the first note literally is just, it looks like a John Wick movie.
Yeah, not really much else to say.
There's not a whole lot to say about this. I mean, it looks cool. Keanu Reeves is back. John Wick is back, just like he was back in the last 3. Yeah, I mean, Donnie Yen is in it. Obviously, Donnie Yen, fantastic actor, martial artist. Bill Skarsgård is playing the villain. He's probably most well known for playing Pennywise the clown from the It movies. He was also in that recent Barbarian, which was a really cool film that we spoke about a few weeks ago. But it looks cool. There's a lot of action. There's some really nice locations. There's one bit where there's kind of a horse chase through like the desert, and the desert looks vibrant and great. And there's one bit where Keanu Reeves is just smacking a dude in the head over and over again with nunchucks. Just wham, bam, bam, bam. It's a John Wick film, but it looks really cool. Now, here's one thing that bugs me, though, right? Is probably about 4 months ago or so, we had it on this podcast that this movie had been given a title, and it was John Wick Chapter 4 something something. I can't remember what it was, but it was a Japanese word. This film is just going to be called John Wick Chapter 4. Why is Chapter 3 the only one with a subtitle? It just bugs me, that does.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Parabellum, Chapter 4. It's weird. It's weird. It just bugs me, and if you've got like OCD or ADHD or something, I imagine it, and you're a fan of these films, it would just bug you even more. It's like, what the hell's that about? But it's great to see Keanu Reeves back. I could watch John Wick films if they made like 17 of them. I'd still be watching. So I wouldn't really know what was going on, but I'd still be watching.
Yeah, definitely.
So I can't remember when it comes out, but it comes out real soon. All right, next little bit of news. Now, this is kind of big news for us. We're big fans of the franchise. We did an episode a few weeks ago on we did a big review on the new Call of Duty, and that episode went down pretty well. We got a lot of listeners, so thanks very much for listening. But the news is that Warzone 2.0 has come out today, November 16th. So at the time you're listening to it, it's been out for a day already. Maybe you've already played it. Let us know what you think of it. I've got some information. It comes from Den of Geek. and it says that Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 is finally scheduled to be released on November 16th. It says, what is so 2.0 about the Battle Royale? For starters, the update will introduce a new map of Al Mazrah, add the ability to swim and ambush enemies from water, and give players plenty of vehicles to drive and fly around the warzone. These new features are already making fans so excited, though many of those fans are just really wondering when they'll be able to try out those new features. So it's kind of old news, even though it was only reported today for when this podcast comes out. It came out at 6 p.m. today. Now, I was sat there, 6:30, still playing Mario, and I was like, oh yeah, Warzone came out. And I didn't switch over and play it. So I've yet to play it. I got no clue what it's like.
No, me neither. I will play it probably tomorrow. There's also DMZ mode got released as well, which is which is like the new extraction game mode, where you've got to like, I don't really get it, but it's a new game mode.
It's kind of dropping teams in, give them an objective, get them to drop out, but there's loads of other teams.
Yeah. It looks pretty fun. Like if you had like a group of people, it looked like pretty fun.
I think so. We should try that. I mean, we might not be very good. I mean, me and Hamby played one of the games the other day, and it's one of the Spec Ops missions, and it's the one where you've got to like go in, go out quietly. We tried it twice because the first time we dropped on a roof directly onto a guy, and it set the alarm off. So we were like, right, let's do it properly. We restarted it, and we started off creeping, crawling, opening doors and stuff. It quickly turned into a shitfest. I had a minigun. It was just it didn't really work. No. But it was fun. So it's probably a good thing that we're not playing it tonight, to be fair, because I can imagine it having some issues. Yeah, and I can imagine there being an update like fairly soon, probably tomorrow for.
I don't even know if I've downloaded it. I think I have. I'm not sure.
I went on this morning because I was like, it's come out. I'll play some games, and it obviously wasn't out yet. But I pre-downloaded it, so I do have it downloaded. Sorry, bear with. Enjoy some Lucozade. So yeah, Warzone 2.0. If you've played it already, let us know what you think. Let us know if you like it, if you hate it. If any of the new kind of... if the new systems and gameplay things are good, just let us know. Alright, that's the end of the entertainment news this week. Now, I was going to say, as you know, well, you probably don't know, because I haven't told you yet, but last year, the podcast ran until early December, and then we basically took the whole of December off for the kind of Christmas period. It's my birthday early December, and then it's a couple other birthdays, and then Christmas. So December is super busy for me. So we are going to stop the podcast for the year, probably the end of this month, or maybe like the first week in December, something like that, early December. So we've got to do the kind of the episodes where you discuss what happened in the year, like you've got to do it. So today we're going to be looking at some of the games that came out this year, and just giving our thoughts, opinions, chat, maybe giving what we think might be game of the year at the Game of the Year awards, which are really soon. So when I was typing all this up, I was thinking to myself, God damn, there's a lot of stuff, I mean, because I wrote down a list of the biggest games of the year, plus a paragraph of like what that game actually is. And I thought, God damn, this is so big. And I emailed the notes to Hamby, obviously, so he could have a look through and generate some thoughts and stuff. And he messaged me back, and he was like, God damn, bro, like 20 pages, like we're going to be here all night, So it's quite daunting. In front of us is a huge list of games, and what they are. But we're not going to go through every single one of them, because there were a lot of games out this year. Sort of big games, small games. There were just a lot of games. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend the next 10 minutes, whatever, just having a bit of a chat about some of these games.
Yeah.
Hamby, feel free to just scroll through, pick them. You know, if you've got any comments on any of the games, pick them. We'll just have a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
So, I'll start. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves on the PS5 came out this year. I didn't get a note of what day or what month it came out, but this kind of started the... Well, it felt like to me, as someone who isn't a PS5 owner, but a PS4 owner, that this kind of started the ball rolling for PlayStation with their whole new tactic, which is just, let's remaster games that don't need to be remastered and charge you 70 quid for them. I have Uncharted... Oh no! So Legacy of Thieves. To be fair, it comes with, it's like the last game and then the spin-off, I think. But I have both those games on my PS4, and they play perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, they look amazing. They play great. They didn't need to be remastered, you know. And things only then got worse, in my opinion, for PlayStation, because they then started remastering games like The Last of Us, which already had a remaster. It's the remaster of the remaster, which only came out like a couple of years ago or something. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm really not a fan of PlayStation this generation so far. I feel as if they're kind of... Last generation, their whole marketing thing was, it's for the players. And now it's kind of like, it's for us. Like, give us your money. It's not for the players anymore. And I think PlayStation fans are kind of realising that. Yeah. Very cold and money grabbing this generation for PlayStation.
Yeah, it's a shame because I still do think that PlayStation has the better exclusives. I really do.
Oh, they definitely do.
Like,
yeah, they do.
Yeah, and like Uncharted is one of them. Like I've played the first 4 Uncharted games, you know, and really really like them. So it's
they're fantastic games.
Yeah.
They're really really good games. I had the first one on my PS3, you know.
Yeah.
And I did think, before I got the Switch, I did think, oh, shall I get a PS5? And I thought, right, well, it's a lot of money. I already have, like, the Xbox, which is the big machine, you know. And I kind of talked myself out of it, because I've still got a PS4 Pro, and games like the latest God of War, which I think I'm going to get, I haven't got it yet, but I'm going to get it for my PS4, still look fantastic on the PS4.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a handful of exclusives that I like the look of, like the Spider-Man and things like that. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, but then it sort of makes it like, it makes Spider-Man like a $500 game or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, is it worth buying a system to play like 4 games?
Yeah.
You know? Some people it definitely is, but for me, it's not, I'm afraid. No doubt I will get one at some point though, because Fee's brother and, you know, extended family, I'm the only Xbox man in the whole group. They're all PlayStation guys, and they're all so PlayStation that as soon as a Pro or a Slim comes out, they have to buy it. So my last 2 PlayStations have been kind of hand-me-downs. So I'm hoping for a hand-me-down PS5 at some point.
Don't know,
in the future.
with how expensive they are. Well,
yeah.
Maybe not.
I may have to offer some cash as well, but yeah.
So I got one. Again, it's not really a game that I played, but I know the hype around it. So Elden Ring.
Yes, yeah.
Like when that came out, I think the start of this year. Like I seem to remember it was
February time, something like that.
Yeah, and like I think we've spoken about it quite a few times on this podcast. That like neither of us are really massive fans of the From Software games, really. No, that's probably. I appreciate that, like, they're good games. I do appreciate they're good games. They're just not really to my taste. But I know that when Elden Ring came out, I know it got very, very good reviews. And I know it went down very, very well with fans of those games, which is a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would not be surprised if that got Game of the Year.
Well, I mean, I was going to get to this right at the end, but I definitely think it's a contender for Game of the Year.
I think so.
Year.
I think it was pretty universally acclaimed when it came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you've got like the FromSoft team, who obviously have been making great games for years, combined with the storytelling of George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones and all that, it seemed like a pretty good combo. And like, I mean, our friend Adam, he's not a From Software kind of guy, but he played it and he really enjoyed it. He's since kind of done a bit of a 180 on it, I think, and been like, okay, it's maybe not quite as good as I thought it was, but it's still really good. Like you, I'm just not into that sort of game. But my reasoning is that, like, I don't play a game to be challenged. I play a game to enjoy the sort of the immersion and the plot. So sometimes if it's too difficult, it just takes me out of it, and I just can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And the From Software games are like, that's their thing, is like, you're gonna be punished, and you're gonna like it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just not that big onto it.
Yeah. Fair enough. So I got another one.
Go on.
And again, I'm sorry, it's not a game that I played, but it's a franchise that I do really like and I have played a lot of. So, Total War Warhammer 3. So, I am a big fan of the Total War franchise. Always have been. Not played much in the last year or so because I've not really been playing my computer that much. But I've kept up to date with them for the most part up until last year, and I love it. Now I own the first Total War Warhammer. Now I love the Total War games because I love the history, and I love like the kind of like they're set in like a really short period of time in history. Whether it's Rome, whether it's like the Huns, whether it's China, and it's just super interesting. And the Warhammer games just never ever did it for me because I don't give a crap about Warhammer.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, but like the thing that I loved was the history from the Total War games, and they will go back to them. They will go back to them because that's I think what most of the fans like. But and they seem to have this deal where they do a Warhammer game every few years.
Yeah. So hang on a minute. Isn't Total War its own thing?
Yeah, Total War's the franchise where it's like the real-time strategy.
Yeah, because I used to play those games as a kid, and recently kind of getting back into them again on PC with games like Age of Empires and stuff. But I didn't Sorry, I'm just sort of reading this now. I didn't realise that was a thing. Total War and Warhammer together, kind of.
Yeah, so like. Total War, it's like the massive battles, you control... Yeah. It's not like Age of Empires, it's like a bit more realistic.
You control the
It's like more realistic. And I honestly, like, Rome... The first Rome Total War, that's an old game now. That came out like probably like 15 years ago or so. But that game's fantastic. And then they've got good ones that have come out recently as well. So like Attila... Total War and all that kind of thing. And they did Rome. They did another Rome Total War as well, and they're just great. They're great games on the whole. They've I don't know. They're kind of like I played them a lot when I was younger, and I've carried on playing them. So I've not played them in the last year or so, but I'm sure I will go back to them at some point.
Yeah, I think if I had a good, I'm not interested in PC gaming, but I don't even have a PC to be fair. But if I had one. I would play games like that because I do enjoy that kind of strategy. It's weird. Like on a PC, I like to point and click. On a console, I like to controller. I don't really want to be controlling on a PC kind of thing. But no, cool. Well, here's one off the list. Now, this is a game that we didn't play. It's Rainbow Six Extraction. We tried to play this game, and it did not want to let us play it. Just a huge heap of shit, like I'm calling it a heap of shit, and I have never even played it. That's how bad this game kind of treated us. We literally had it loaded up, we all installed it, and maybe there was 2 or 3 of us. We were on a stream. It's on one of the episodes. Like, check it out. It's on the YouTube channel. We were ready to go, and it just would not find a lobby. You know, and like I'm already not that big on Rainbow Six. Me and Hamby, we did play a few games on Siege, and and it's kind of weird because it's like more tactical yet more arcadey at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird mix. It didn't quite mesh with me. I know it's got their fan base or whatever, but in this game they tried to do something new where it was all about like aliens and shit. I don't know. It just didn't look good. We tried to play it. We tried to give it the, you know, to share it around and play it and stream it, and it didn't want to know. So yeah, heap of shit. Rainbow Six Extraction. Couldn't even play it.
Yeah. Grounded.
Yeah, Grounded. It's a weird one, right? Because Grounded, like, it's been on the thing for like years, like 3 years, 2 years.
Yeah, it's just only just got released recently. As in, like, it was on like early access
as a full release. Yeah, like, so it doesn't feel like it came out this year.
Yeah, so we played it. We played it a little bit with Tomo.
We did do it on a stream,
and it's fun. I think if you like Minecraft and stuff like that, you'll like Grounded. There's a lot.
If you like kind of the survival element of Minecraft,
Yeah, which
not so much the crafting.
Yeah, for me, I didn't really like it.
No, I'm with you there. I didn't go back
But
to it. Yeah,
I know Tom really likes it.
Tomo loves it, but then that's the sort of game Tomo loves. Like, it's kind of a small idea, big world, but kind of a right, here you go, survive kind of thing. Like, Tomo likes that kind of game, and people do like that kind of game.
He plays like DayZ and stuff, doesn't he? I guess, which is similar.
Yeah. For me, it felt like a fantastic idea. Finally, someone's made a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game, but it's not fun. Like, there's no like set pieces. We had to kind of make our own fun, and to do that we had to like run up to a spider, fucking bat it in the leg or something to get it to chase us so that we could run and be like, oh, you know. It just, for something where it's like the idea, you know, you're shrunk down, you're in your garden has become a jungle. It was pretty tame, I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, Grounded. Out this year, but totally didn't feel like it. Another game that came out this year was Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to the first Horizon game, Zero Dawn, a game that I bought. Zero Dawn, I bought probably about 4 or 5 months ago. I bought it for my PlayStation. Was like, right, you know, I'm ready to get immersed into a brand new world, and I didn't like it. Which is weird, because like it's a good game, you know, according to everyone. I just didn't like it because it's one of those games, which is, you know, like pretty much how you've described Zelda earlier. It's one of those games where it just goes, here's the world. But in Zero Dawn, it's like, well, what is all this shit? There's a fucking robot T-Rex running at me. Like, what's going on? What am I doing? You know, and it was kind of, I just was overwhelmed, and then little things really bugged me, like the fact that if you push the jump button, the character Aloy can literally jump like 7 feet in the air. You can jump clean over NPC characters. And I was just like, nah, man, don't throw me out. You can't jump that high. What's going on? I will play it because I like the sound of it, you know, robot animals. But I found it difficult, repetitive, and kind of, I don't want to be handheld, but I want some guidance, you know, and that game just throws you in it, and it's like, here you go, here's fucking 20 robot zebras coming for you, what are you going to do? It's like, I don't know what to do. But also, going back to the issue with remasters and things, Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the recent things that's been announced to be remastering. That game, it's not even been remastered once, but it looks perfect. It looks amazing, and I'm playing it on a PS4 Pro, you know, it looks great. It doesn't need to be remastered, and they'll charge 70 quid for it as well. Nah, I don't know what PlayStation are up to. I really hope that the fan base don't buy it, so that it does poorly, so they can be like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's not been long enough at all. Like, when did that game come out? 2017 or so? 2018?
Yeah,
I
something
don't know.
like that.
It hasn't been long at all. Alright, here's a game on the list. A game that sort of came and went, and nobody knew anything about it. Ghostwire Tokyo. That came out this year for the PlayStation 5 and Windows. Now, it didn't have... I feel like this game didn't have a marketing campaign at all. But it was supposed to be like... It's a big AAA game for the PlayStation. But it just came out. It was like, here it is. And it's gone. It was a really strange one. Like, it was kind of a cool... What I did see was there's a little bit of gameplay I saw before it came out. Obviously, like the name says, heavily kind of Japanese inspired. I mean, I'm looking at the notes I've got for it now, and it's basically like... So it's made by the Evil Within creators, Tango Gameworks. But it's kind of a first-person... something about banishing demons and stuff in Tokyo. I don't know, man. I remember seeing a tiny bit about it and thinking it could be kind of cool, but like I said, it just came and went. And it looks like it was a PS5 only game as well, which is kind of weird. But yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo. Did anyone play it? Did you think it was good? Let us know. Send an email. Any on there, Hamby?
There's the two Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Hell yeah, what a game.
Yeah, it's good fun, that. I enjoyed it. I haven't played it an awful lot, but the little that I have played, I had a really good time playing it. It was good fun.
Yeah, we played it on the stream for about an hour. I then played it for maybe another hour after the stream. And yeah, for a 2D side-scrolling like beat 'em up, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. The soundtrack was banging. I've got the soundtrack on my Spotify. It's so cool. Like, a real throwback soundtrack. It's probably a bit too young to have played any like arcade cabinet games in arcades. But it feels like that's what it would have felt like, like a proper arcade 2-player game. Really fun. And I think because of the success of that game, we're going to start seeing loads more sort of old properties coming back. Because now it's like, yeah, they can be done well, these side-scrolly beat-em-ups. So, yeah, that was really good. We had the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga came out. Is it just me, or does it feel like there's a new Lego Star Wars game like every 2 years?
Yeah, definitely. I've lost track.
But it feels like it's the same game. Like, is it the same game? Like, when this one got announced, I was like, oh, well, isn't there just been one? And hasn't the one that's just come out just done, like, all the new Saga stuff? Like, haven't we already had the complete Saga Lego Star Wars?
I have no idea.
No, I mean, I do like the Lego games. The Lego Star Wars, I know that they were kind of some of the first Lego games. But I've never really been that much of a fan of the Star Wars ones. But I was thinking about getting this, actually, because I like, when I'm saying, I like the kiddie kind of collect 'em all kind of games. But I think at the time it had some bad reviews, and it was just sort of like kind of meh. And I was like, well, I'm not going to pay full price for this. So, yeah, didn't play it, but super confusing as to, if it's come out or not. Oh, here's one. Here's a game that I was looking forward to and then didn't buy. It's The Evil Dead, the game. I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead films. Loved the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show. I think it was about 4 seasons before it got cancelled. Loads of fun. Really good. And I thought, hell yeah. I'm so down for playing a game, an Evil Dead game where you play as Ash and you've got the chainsaw arm. That's going to be cool. then they announced that it was going to be kind of a what's it called, like an isometric horror game or something,
Yeah.
where it's like one person plays as the bad guy and the rest of you play as the good guys or something.
Yeah.
It seems to be following a trend of horror movie villains getting their own games that are all these isometric multiplayer games. And Evil Dead is the sort of the latest one to do it. So I was a bit turned off by that, because there's no single player story. It's literally just kind of arenas. You're in this world. You're playing against the the guy controlling the demons with up to 4 players or something. So it kind of put me out, and I was like, right, well, I'm not going to get it. But it's supposed to be very good. Reviews for it are pretty good. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. The person who is playing as the Kandarians, the demons. This article I'm looking at here is describing it. It's comparing it to like a dungeon master from a D&D game or whatever. Yeah, it looks good. It's the sort of game I want them to bring it to Game Pass, because if they bring it to Game Pass, I will play it. But I'm not gonna pay full price for that. Because also, like, me and you play COD, or me and you play Xbox maybe like 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it's usually for maybe 2 hours average a session. I feel like a game like that, you need to have a crew of people who are on most nights. It's not like I might just pop on sort of game.
Yeah.
Which is why I think we like Call of Duty so much, because you can just pop on for a couple of games and then go. Even if it's like one game and then go.
Yeah.
We had The Quarry. We had The Quarry come out. Now this is by Supermassive Games. They did the Until Dawn, the kind of super scripted, super kind of movie style game. Now I know Tomo, our pal Tomo, loves these sort of games. He really loves the Dark Pictures anthology games. Have you ever played any of those?
No, I've not played them.
I played the first one. I thought it was quite good, but it's one of those games where there'll just be someone's just talking, and you'll maybe have to hit a quick time event, and it just keeps the cutscene going, and then maybe you'll walk a little bit, and the cutscene carries. It's one of those games, really cinematic, not crazy gameplay. But I think The Quarry was supposed to be pretty good. I did listen to some podcasts and stuff about it, so I completely know everything, so there's no point in me playing it now. Which is the problem, actually, because it's one of those games where once you've played it kind of thing. There's not really much replayability because it's so cinematic. I guess the point of playing again is to try and keep your characters alive or something.
Yeah.
Or see how many characters you can get to survive. Hamby, is there any more in that list that stand out to you?
None more than the obvious ones that you've got at the bottom.
Okay, well, before we get to those at the bottom, there's maybe 2 more. I'll quickly mention those, and then we'll jump straight into the obvious. The first one is Stray. Stray came out this year. This is a game where you play as a cat, and people were losing their minds because they were like, I want to play as a cat, to the point where it's like, I don't know if you've seen the memes where it's sort of like gamers, video games cause violence and stuff, and then underneath it there's a screenshot from Stray and it says like push circle to meow or something. But yeah, no, it looked cool. I mean, it was supposed to be crap. I think it was really bad actually when it came out, but the thought of playing a whole game as a cat, that's kind of a cool gameplay like loop or mechanic, in like kind of a cyberpunk world as well. Obviously cyberpunk is really in at the minute. So Stray came out. 2 Point Campus came out. Now this is a really small game, but I love it. I love the 2 Point games. What I would say though is play it on a PC. Don't play it on a console, because you're doing that thing where you're using the controller as a mouse, and it just kind of doesn't work very well. A lot of fun, just kind of a simulator, a school simulator, kind of game. Sorry, man. A couple more
Alright.
more before we get to the ones at the end. A Plague Tale Requiem. Now, I mentioned this on the podcast a few weeks ago. That game is awesome. The first game was really good. Plague Tale Requiem, for me, is probably one of the best games of the year. I was hooked. I loved it the whole way through. One of those games where whenever I quit, I was like, I can't wait to get back into that world and play it some more. So yeah, Plague Tale Requiem. And the last one I want to mention is Scorn, which came out this year. Looks really cool, but I haven't played it yet. I've got it downloaded. I want to play it, but haven't got around to it. All right, Hamby, go on then.
I guess the obvious one. Well, no, before then, came out literally last week. God of War Ragnarok. I don't know what the reviews have been like for that, but I guess that was pretty hotly anticipated.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. Sorry, my voice is going. We're gonna have to end this soon because I'm. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's got incredibly good reviews.
I mean, that's what I mean. Like
the first game, the first game was very good. I do want to get this. I'm actually thinking about trading in my or selling my old Xbox, my One S. I'm thinking about selling my One S and getting God of War, because I'm getting it on the PS4.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Sony. I feel like their exclusives are normally pretty polished and pretty good. So yeah, for the most part.
I mean, I've heard people say that God of War 2018 is a contender for the best game of all time. I wouldn't say that. I would say it's a very good game, but also very clunky and slow at the same in the same way for me. The problem, I've mentioned it before, but quickly, the problem with the Sony the first party exclusives for me is that they all feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
They all have the same camera angle. They all have the same control layout. You can't fucking jump on any of them. Yeah. But no, this game looks cool. And I saw an article the other day which said that the depiction of Thor in this, well, the title of the article was, this version of Thor is the best version in any media, and then it had a picture of a sad Chris Hemsworth next to it. So yeah, I do want to get it. I think I'm going to get it fairly soon. As I say, I think I'm going to trade in my old PlayStation and get this God of War.
Yeah.
It's just so expensive though. Like, PlayStation games like £70.
I know.
Too much. We have Call of Duty Warzone on there. Obviously, we've spoken a bit about that, so we can kind of gloss over that. But the last one we've got now, this game hasn't come out yet. It doesn't come out until December 2nd. The Callisto Protocol. Now, this is the game that's made by the original devs that made Dead Space, and it's sort of the spiritual successor to Dead Space. Like, it looks very much the same. Looks like it controls the same. Even looks like it has some of the same kind of gameplay gimmicks, like the health being shown on the character's body, the health meter. Don't know what to make of it, but obviously we can't make too much because it's not out yet. But I think that's going to be quite a good game when it comes out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've kind of blasted through a lot of the games that came out this year. There's obviously a lot more. We have a massive list in front of us. We would have been here all night if we mentioned every single one and gave our thoughts on it. So there's a load. I mean, as I'm scrolling through it now, yeah, Metal Hellsinger, didn't mention that. That was pretty cool. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Let us know what you think is, some of the best games that came out this year, or the biggest releases that came out this year that we didn't mention. Okay, so before we end this podcast, let's give a quick hint as to what we think might get the Game of the Year this year at the upcoming Game of the Year awards. I think it's going to be between two games, Elden Ring and God of War.
I think Elden Ring mainly because it was multi-platform. Yeah,
that's a good
I
point.
think
I didn't think
not
of
that like games don't win because they're just on PS5, but I think because it was on Xbox, PS5, and PC, I think it sold a lot of copies when it came out.
Yeah,
and not
yeah, and also, I mean, it came out like beginning of the year, and we're still talking about it.
Yeah,
it's still getting played.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I think I think my impressions of it were that it was very well reviewed and people generally liked it a lot. So that'll be my vote. Well, not my vote, but I think that'll be my like bet for being Game of the
Year. That would be my bet as well. I don't think it would be, if I could say what my Game of the Year is, looking at the list. Oh, we totally didn't put Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on this list. I just realised that wasn't on this list. That game also came out this year. I would say my personal Game of the Year, and I am yet to play Ragnarok yet, so excluding Ragnarok, my personal Game of the Year this year is Plague Tale. Plague Tale Requiem gets it for me. I mean, I said it was funny, right? Because I said to Hamby before we started this, we're gamers, but we're like not gamers at the same time. Like, how many new games did you buy this year?
I can barely call myself a gamer these days, just because I don't have the effort to like put in time to play a game like I used to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still find games interesting, keep up with it, but like on the whole, I find it really tough to like.
No, go on. How many brand new games did you buy this year?
Oh, but
because if the answer's one, it's exactly the same as me.
Yeah, one. I mean, I have Game Pass, but yeah, one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, and that was Call of Duty, right?
Yeah. It's bad.
Same. So that's what I mean by we're gamers, but we're like not.
Games are expensive as well. Like games are expensive. I've got to know that I'm going to like it to fork out like 70 quid for it.
Yeah.
Like if there's a bit of doubt, I'm not buying it.
Yeah. So, to be fair, like we haven't had a full experience of like all of the games that came out this year, but like I said, my Game of the Year probably would be Plague Tale. What would yours be? Out of any of the games that you've played this year?
Man, I don't know. Although it hasn't even come out this year. It came out the year before.
What was it?
I had a blast playing Cyberpunk until my dog like destroyed it. But
yeah, my
I will buy you a new one. But I was having a blast with that, and that's like basically a new game because it got patched to oblivion, and it's actually kind of half decent now. Yeah, it's like
yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, all right. Well, hey, that was the games that came out this year. There's a shit ton of them. Let us know what you think is going to get Game of the Year, and what is your personal Game of the Year. I'd be really interested to hear that. All right, we've been rambling for like an hour and 15 or so now. Let's end this podcast here, bro.
All right.
Everyone, thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate that you listen to these podcasts and just listen to two pals ramble over some bollocks, while having some beers and stuff. I said to Hamby before we started this, I can see that people are still listening to our episode on the Return of the Dream Canteen. The Chili Pepper album is still getting listens. So thanks so much for that. Really, really appreciate it. Okay. Get in touch. Send us an email, dudewutpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. It's usually just, .com/dudewutpodcast. You'll find us. Follow us on Facebook. Like we're struggling with Facebook followers. The Insta's performing well, but yeah, get us on Facebook. One way that you can really help out the podcast is by leaving us a 5-star review on your sort of platform of choice. They make it so easy these days. I think on Spotify you don't even have to type anything. You literally just click, and you just click 5 stars. It sort of pushes us in the algorithm. So yeah, we really appreciate that. Yeah, if you could do that. The other way you could really help us out is you could go to buymeacoffee.com/DudeWutPodcast, or go to our link tree, scroll down, and you'll find a link there to our Buy Me a Coffee. Once you're on that site, you get the option to donate anywhere from £1 to £5. Send what you won't miss, basically. If you've got a couple of quid and you were like, that was a funny episode, here's £2. Appreciate it. It'll all go back in towards the running of the pod. But if not, don't worry about it. But there is a sort of a second tier on there, so you can actually be a producer of the podcast for £2 a month. And what that will do is it will give you sort of a hard line to us, recommend things, get in touch, and we'll be giving you shout outs and stuff like that. So buymeacoffee.com/DudeWutPodcast. All right, we'll be back next week, but it might be later in the week, because if there is a football, if there is an England game on Monday, it's safe to say we won't be podding on Monday. So we'll probably be back later in the week for another episode of the podcast. We will, of course, be back this coming Friday for some live streaming. We're going to be live streaming the new Warzone, so that should be fun. Tune in then, 8 p.m. And, it'll go back on the YouTube. Check out the YouTube channel. There's loads of shorts. There's loads of little funny things on there. And subscribe, share, and all that stuff. Hamby, thanks so much for joining me on the podcast, man. It's always fun to chat to you.
No worries. Yeah, had a good time.
And thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next time. Take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.